What? That was crazy. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I got a message, automated message that said this meeting is being recorded, which it always said, and then it said press 1 to allow yourself to be recorded.
Huh.
So hopefully this comes out on the recording. I pressed 1. I
Well,
didn't
that's
press
because
pound.
your mic is muted. Maybe it thinks that's why.
That could be.
I,
Yeah, 'cause I
I,
don't
won-
use-
I wonder though if that means you won't be recorded since you're on the phone only. Huh.
Shoot, that could
Well,
be
last
what it
time
means.
you were on the phone only, did you look to see if you were recorded?
Well, I never muted my laptop before.
Because
Sorry,
usually
guys, figuring this out. Yeah.
when it's not muted, I mean, when both of them are on, that's how you usually get the feedback.
Meeting is being recorded. Well, hopefully it does, I guess, is all I can say. Now, can you see my screen still?
Yep.
Okay. All right, guys. Hope you had a good weekend. And first day of November. So we have 2 months for the rest of the year. Let's finish strong. You know, I always find, and I've been doing this business model now since 2012, full time, just doing this business model since 2013. And you would think that during the holiday season, right, Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up here in the next 8 weeks or so, that, you know, business would tail off. But for whatever reason, at least for me personally, I've always had good Novembers and Decembers.
Me too. Me too.
Better Novembers and Decembers than like January, where you should have a bigger month. So for whatever reason, you know, I think people maybe are thinking ahead and preparing themselves for the next year. You know, I know I signed up a guy on Saturday that, you know, works the graveyard shift, and that was his why. He doesn't want to do that anymore. He doesn't want to come home at 7 o'clock in the morning and go to bed. And, you know, I don't blame him. So, you know, people have different whys, but they start thinking about that. Maybe they start thinking about it now for next year, you know, and plan ahead. So for whatever reason, anyway, don't put the business on the back burner because it's the holiday season. You know, continue doing what you're doing. If you're not doing anything, start doing something to generate leads and generate business.
Yeah, and when you talk to your clients, you can tell them, hey, it's a tax deduction, and why don't you end the year strong so you have a business for the new year? And you know, there's a lot of, once you find their why, there's a lot of other peripheral things you can do to press those buttons.
Yeah, I always forget about the tax deduction angle, but that's a great angle to take in your broadcast emails or if you're talking to prospects. Yeah, there's a lot of tax benefits that you can get from, you know, from working a home business, and you guys probably know that already. But you know, it's a good selling point too. All right. Well, anyway, today we wanted to talk about the appointment funnel. One of our members, Jeremiah, I don't know if he's on the meeting right now, but he brought this up as a potential topic, and I think it's a great idea. We haven't talked about it in a while. And honestly, with my new members, I've gotten away from it a little bit, but for no good reason, quite frankly. So let's show you what this is, because that was his question. I think his sponsor doesn't use it. So his question was, you know, kind of what is it and how do we use it type of thing. So in any event, we have 2 pages set up in our marketing system for the appointment funnel, and I'll show you them. It's page 150 for the capture page and page 70 for the, I guess you can call it landing page or even sales page, but the sale is just having them schedule an appointment. So let's go to web pages here. $150. Now, I mean, when you go into your back office all of these pages should be labeled properly, because I went through them. So they don't all have the right image if I change the look of a page, but they all have the correct labels. So here you see page 150, appointment funnel, capture page redirects to page 70. So let me click on this. And this is our capture page. Yeah, the video is muted. I really hope this is recording, but I guess we'll find out. So yeah, so when they enter their information here, and this is the page you would advertise, you know, in your Craigslist ad. And they get redirected here to page 70. Whoever's number this is default. It's probably you, John, because it always defaults to your page for some reason. But this is page 70. This is the page that they will book their appointment with you on or from. So, and this is a continuation of the ad. So, you know, you don't have to oversell in your ad. You know, this is going to tell them all the key points. It's going to tell them there's a one-time startup investment. Okay, so they shouldn't be surprised that it costs money. And you know, they can click to book an appointment. This is where your Calendly or your Schedule Once button is going to go. Let's see who this is. Yeah, it's you, John. So it's going to redirect to your booking, you know, to your booking page, whichever one you're using. And it's going to pre-populate your 800 link number. Okay, if you have 800 link. If you don't have 800 link, unfortunately, just nothing's going to be here. So it's going to say book an appointment. It's still going to say or call our 24 info line, but it's not going to have a number there. Probably not a disaster, you know. And again, they can still schedule the appointment with you. John, anything to add on this page before I?
No, I think that's it. I think that's it. I'm not even using that 150, but I have a funnel that still uses the appointment page. So I guess I'm a little confused.
Oh, is there another page? I don't even know. That's the only page I'm aware of.
Go to my domain, I Deserve Abundance, and see what page that is. That's my domain.
Okay.
Because I thought that's the one we use, and then it goes to the sales letter.
Abundance.
Yeah, .com. That's right. And see what page that I'm using.
That's my spelling.
That's right. So I'm using 145.
Okay, you're using a capture page. So that's another way to do it, where you go straight to the website. You know, we're talking just the appointment funnel in this, you know, for this training. So that's what Jeremiah had asked us to talk about.
Yeah, but where does the 145 goes to a place where they can book it too, though, right? The appointment, the schedule of consultation shows up on one of those pages, right?
Well, they could book an appointment from every single page, but
right. Okay.
But they're going to be booking from the webinar page, right? Or the sales letter page.
Okay.
This is the appointment. What we mean by appointment funnel, you know, just to make sure everybody's clear, is they're booking an appointment with you before they have seen anything about the business. So they haven't seen our sales letter, they haven't seen our webinar presentation.
Right.
So they're
I just put the schedule once. Yeah, I just have the schedule once right in the Craigslist ad, and they go right to my appointment. I see.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that too.
But if they go to 150, then you're capturing them that way, and then they read extra stuff. I see. Yeah,
the advantage with using, I mean, you could just send people directly to this page 70.
Right.
And it explains, you know, it's a sales page.
Right.
So it explains some highlights of the business, and they can book an appointment.
Right.
The reason to use 150 is to get them into your autoresponder,
Right.
right? So that's the advantage of using that. And
Can I ask a question? How do you get the 1-800 number?
yeah, you want to, who is this, Maggie?
Maggie.
Yeah, you want to ask, maybe ask Sherry, because it's an affiliate program, but otherwise it's through a company called 800 Link, and it's $9.95 a month to have an 800 number. But typically what we do, and I assume yours does too, John, I don't know, but we load up a pre-recorded message on there.
Yeah.
This was old school. I mean, back in the day, before we had websites and stuff, we would send people to a recorded call, and that's how we would advertise. Sometimes it was a 3-minute call, sometimes it was a 20-minute message, and it would, again, give kind of highlights of the opportunity and encourage people to leave us a voicemail message for a call back. And that's kind of what that strategy is. So when they call the 800 number, at least when they call mine, there's a 3 or 4 minute recorded message on there. They give some highlights, has some testimonial, testimonial recordings on there, and then they leave a message.
Or
One
you
thing
can
I
leave
found
your own
personally-
message.
Correct. Yep.
And the advantage of having the 800 link is they have their own dashboard, and they will let you know by text notification that somebody has called that number. And then if they leave a message, you get an email message and with an MP4, and you can read it, listen to it, transcribe it to call them back, or you can go to your dashboard on 800 link and listen to your messages. So they keep track of everything for you. And it doesn't have to be an 800 number just because a company's called 800 link. Nowadays, most people have, all long distance, they don't have to pay for it anymore because they got a plan. So you can have a local number if you want, or an 800 number.
Yeah, I changed mine over. I used to use local numbers, but yeah, I changed it over to 800 number. It's
Right.
about the same price.
The only thing is if you did a ton of business, there's a limit, and then they start charging you per call.
Right. Yeah, I've never
But I never tipped it.
experienced that. No, I think you get like 500 minutes a month or 1,000 minutes a month or something like that. It's plenty. So, factor that into your budget. It's $10 a month, essentially. And they're good people to deal with. They're sure seems like a small operation, but they have lots of clients.
Yeah, they got good customer service. And once you sign up 3 people to the program, it's called 3 for free. You actually don't have to pay that $9.95. I haven't paid that $9.95 a month in 7 years.
Yep. That is true. Yeah, that's why you want to use somebody's affiliate link, so at least they get credit for it. All right. So moving right along to kind of continue with our appointment funnel discussion, wanted to, let me just remind myself here. Yeah, we've talked about this, but maybe for newer people, make sure you have either Calendly or Schedule One set up and integrated with the system. Okay. So here on the training site under resources, set up Calendly / Schedule Once. I used Schedule Once for years. I just switched to Calendly. It's free, so save $15 a month. So it's really, really up to you. The video here that I put together actually does a good job, I think, because people have been able to set up their Calendly pages themselves. So it does a good job kind of walking you through how to set up and how to integrate the Calendly. The only real big difference is when you set up a Schedule Once booking page, it creates what we call an embed code. It creates a code that is going to create the button for you that goes on the websites and in your ads and whatever. The free, you okay, John? Might want to mute. At least the free Calendly does have a paid version that I'm sure gives more, more stuff with it. But with the free version, it doesn't create that embed code. So I created the embed code for you, and you just kind of copy this, put your Calendly username there, and paste it in your back office. And both of these videos will walk you through exactly how to set it up. So, it's up to you. Schedule Once is $15 a month for like 9 booking pages. Calendly is free for 1 booking page, but you can use different email addresses to set up different accounts. Like I just have 2 accounts right now because that's all I need, using 2 different emails. But yeah, I think the free Calendly is fine. Works fine. Any questions on that? And 3 we already talked about, right? Using the 800 link. I see it as optional. I know John uses 800 link a lot to market. I personally barely use it at all. Sometimes I put it in my ads. Most of the time I don't.
So some people may wonder if you need both of them. And originally, when we all started out, we didn't even have the appointment funnel. One of our other leaders told us about it, and it's kind of cool. But on your, like Steve was saying, the Craigslist ad, you could put the 800 link. I usually say to book an appointment, whatever, click this button. Or if you're old school and you want to talk to somebody, dial this number. And so that gives some people, like they're older school, they're older, they do want to talk to somebody. And some people are the opposite and they just want to go book the appointment online. So I always put both, but you could have one or the other. It's up to you to try.
I was just going to one of my Craigslist ads, but I realized that I don't think I'm using the appointment funnel. Let me just see what I am using. Yeah, no, let me send them to a different page. I wanted to show you kind of live how to use the appointment funnel, but never mind, as they say. Because I am not using it. But, the advantage to using it, let me...
well, you could go to... well, we could go to one of mine, but that's all right.
But you're not using it either. You said you're setting them to 145.
Yeah, I'm not using your appointment funnel. I'm just going. I'm going right to Schedule Once. Or
okay, let's see that. Where do you have an ad? Let's see that, because I've never sent them straight to the appointment off the Craigslist ad.
I'm trying to remember where my last ad was. Go to Chicago. Chicago, I think.
Oh, that's going to be hard to find, isn't it?
Maybe not.
Unless you just placed it. Sure, that's a high traffic site. Let's see.
All right. I don't see it there. It might be on the...
This looks like a competitor. No.
No, it's different. Go down to the bottom. I'll see it right away if I... Mine usually has those arrows, green arrows on the left and right. Wait, what's that? Become a digital... I used to have a subject area like that.
I'm a digital CEO e-commerce expert.
Yeah, try that one. That may be one of my people copying my ad, though I don't remember. That's mine, I think. So go down,
Here's his 800. Yeah, this is the same number.
right, but what, I think I have another button
You do not,
above. Let me see.
you,
I
I
don't?
don't see it.
That's weird.
Nope.
I must be an older
You-
one.
You're just sending them to 800 link.
I used to have one above it too, though. So, oh, I know why.
Okay.
That's one of my people that I gave him my ad and they don't have the appointment funnel, so I gave them the ad without the appointment funnel. So, that's
Gotcha.
why.
Okay. Alrighty then. What else I wanted to say, and I don't remember. Yeah, why would you want to use the appointment funnel, right? Or even 800 link, alone, like John likes to use. Why would you want to do that? And we've talked about this in the past, and probably not as much recently, but talking to somebody up front, using our I changed the name of it to our initial callback scripts, right? That you can get right here on the website. Is a way to kind of speed up the sales cycle. If you just send them to your website, which is what I personally like to do, it's going to take a lot longer. You're going to need about 100 leads to expect to make a sale. Okay. So that means generating 100 leads, not buying 100 leads, right? That means generating 100 leads through whatever method, whether it's, solo ads or Craigslist or postcards, whatever you're doing. But if you talk to somebody first, so if you use the appointment funnel, right, where you have them book an appointment before they see the webinar, before they know how much it costs to get started, before they know about the business model, and you're able to build some rapport, that speeds up the sales cycle. What we've seen over the years is that basically getting 10 to 12 people through the sales cycle, which means you have that initial call, you send them to the website, and they hopefully watch the entire webinar, and then you book a follow-up call with them. Then 10 to 12 of those should equate to one sale. So you're essentially you're speeding up the sales cycle, first of all. And second of all, you probably need about half the amount of leads. So you can generate less leads and make more sales. Trade-off is you need to talk to people. Okay.
Yeah, you're doing a little more work because you're interviewing them, but you're finding their why. So the way I was taught is if you find somebody's reason they're out there, well, I was laid off because of COVID and my wife's laid off and our money's going down and blah, 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 blah. And you talk to them, you relate to them, like Steve says, you establish rapport, you talk to them a little bit more, and then you say, okay, I'm going to send you an email, make sure you read the whole email, and then go to this and go to that. That guy, you've usually, on the interest scale from 1 to 10, the goal of that front call is to find his why and raise his interest to the point that he really now wants to go. He's waiting for that email so he can go look at it. Since you found his why, there's a possible chance that he may watch the whole thing because you told him that this could solve his problem. Whereas if you send him directly, you don't get a chance to go through their why. And that's why Steve was saying you need more. You're fishing in a bigger lake, and you need more fish in order to grab one. So I've made sales both ways. I know Steve makes more sales the other way, and I make more sales the 800 link way, but we both made sales each way. So I alternate back and forth. It just depends on, sometimes I'll take my ad and don't have any 800 link number and send them directly to it. Sometimes I'll put both options in there. It's up to you to experiment. If you're a talker and you like to establish rapport and talk with people, I would suggest trying a little more of the interviews, try to make some sales.
Or if you want to make sales faster.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you need to be that much of a talker because we do have a script that I recommend you follow. It's good. It's a little more than one page, but it's essentially one page. Okay. And it's pretty simple. And honestly, there's just a couple of questions that we ask, so, this is a good crutch to have, particularly if you're new, because what I found and what we found is that, if people start to just wing it, it doesn't work, So you want to stay focused and you want to, stay focused on the task at hand, I should say, of getting somebody to agree to take a look at the website and agree to a follow-up call. That's the sale of that first call.
Yeah, and if you're already a pro, like an insurance guy, and you're used to interviewing people, then I would suggest make this script your own, maybe write the bullet points down, practice it a little bit, and make it your own. Steve and I slightly disagree on this, but not really. Not really, because my experience is when people get this script, if they're new, don't have much experience, they start trying to read it and they start sounding like a telemarketer, and that is the kiss of death. Nobody wants to talk to a telemarketer. All right, well, Dave, next. Great. So Dave, let me confirm and it sounds like a telemarketer because you're not relaxed and you're not really two-way communicating and interacting with the person. Sometimes people don't even listen to the guy's response because they're looking at the next paragraph of their script. So if you're going to use the script exactly, really practice it. Don't wing it.
Yep.
Practice it with somebody and memorize it and change the words to fit your personality. That's all I suggest.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. You don't want to sound like a robot, but I think that having this as a crutch allows you to be able to listen because you're not thinking about what you have to say next. And it's a big part of sales is listening. The last thing you want to do is, the person's telling you their why and then you don't even remember it, right? You have no idea what they said. You can't even repeat it back because you're worried about what are you going to say next. You're going to say, "Oh, great. So let me confirm your email address," or whatever. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, and the guy might say, for example, let's say he goes, "Yeah, my wife's all despondent. Our dog just died and she's not working." And then you don't even say your condolences or you don't say anything. You just go, "All right, so Dave, what's going on?" Like he just told you something very human that you should have a human response, and you didn't even acknowledge it.
Yep. Yeah, I just saw that on Family Guy where I think he's like, he was the one character was in a small talk class, and he's like, totally ignored like the major life event that the person told him about. It's like, so how do you think the weather is today? So anyway, I think this is stuff we haven't talked about in a while. It gives you another, another tool, and we offer a lot of tools with our different websites and everything. And I think sometimes it can be maybe a little overwhelming, but everything's there for a reason. And if you haven't tried out the appointment funnel and you maybe aren't having the success that you were hoping to have, with your ads and your marketing, try it. These calls are super simple and super easy. You're not selling anything, right? You're not, if you're familiar with this script or if you go over it because you've never seen it before, you're not trying to sell anything. The only thing you're trying to sell is the person, letting you send them an email with the link to your website.
Yeah, so if you just listen, if you didn't even use this script and you just said, "Hey, Dave, my name's John, and you don't know me, but you left me a message, or you made an appointment, I'm calling you back," and at that point, you're just checking their email address and finding out their background. And I always do make sure, go down to the script, does this have a disclaimer that says there's a fee on it? so we're not baiting them, because I always say, this is not a job.
Well, it just says this, and just to make sure we're on the same page, do you understand that what we have is a business opportunity and not a job that pays a salary?
Right. Yeah, I go one step
Yeah.
further, and I do say that there are some startup fees which will be explained in the webinar. And the reason why I say that is I want to see if there's going to be a big reaction. Oh, because sometimes people literally hang up on it. So, but not often.
Yeah. Personally, I don't bring it up like that, like you do, but I will if somebody sounds, I mean, you guys have ever called leads before, you know, really bad leads, right? Somebody who wasn't asleep, but sounds like they're asleep, you know, like those people are, you know, or just, they just sound terrible. And then I'll say, you know, sometimes I'll say like, hey, it costs $6,500. Would that be a problem? You know, just to, you know, just to lose them. Or, you know, maybe I'll just say, hey, you know, there is an investment. Is that going to be an issue for you?
Well, yeah, that's what I do. So
Otherwise, if somebody sounds normal, you know, they don't even have to sound great. If they just sound normal, I don't bring it up unless they ask. If they ask, I'm not going to lie to them, you know, obviously. But, you know, you know, one of the things, if you know the script, you know, right up front, we say, hey, let me confirm your email address, because at the end of the call, I'm going to send you a link to our website that's going to give you all of the details, you know, about our opportunity. That is so you don't get peppered with questions. If you know, my experience and other people's experience, when you go through this, and again, yeah, make it your own. I mean, these are my words. Don't use my words. Use your own. But you know, essentially, if you're sticking to some sort of structure for the call, you're not going to get hit with the questions that everybody thinks you're going to get hit with. How much does it cost? How much do you make? How long have you been doing it, right? None of that stuff's going to be asked if you deliver.
I never have that happen. Yeah, I rarely have that happen.
No, I mean, occasionally you get it, but for the most part, that is not an issue if you don't sound like you're reading this, and if you don't start saying things that you shouldn't say, right? You know, and that's usually where people get into trouble, is if you start going off on a tangent, and you know.
Plus, it's your control of the communication cycle. Because remember, a communication, to be a good communication, it's supposed to be a two-way communication. Hey, Dave, it's John. And yeah, this is Dave. So it's two ways, back and forth. And if you stutter, sound like you're reading, or don't seem like you have a command, then you're not going to control the communication. If you don't control the communication, they're going to start controlling it, start asking you questions. Hey, well, let me ask you this. And how long you've been in the business? And blah, blah, blah. Is this network marketing? And once you open the door, that's Pandora's box. If they start asking you questions, the best way to stop that, if that happens, is say, yeah, Dave, you sound like me, you know, really sincerely interested and want all the details. But hey, the beauty of this thing is that we don't really answer questions. We have an on-demand webinar, very sophisticated site that answers about 99% of everything. So if it's okay with you, and it's okay as a rejection phrase, if it's okay with you, why don't we just park those and you go review it all, because most of those will be answered, and then I'll answer any unanswered. That's what I do if they start trying to ask me a bunch of questions.
Yep, that's how to get out of it, because you don't want to, if you start to find yourself talking about digital information and we're not multi-level marketing, and we're, you know, we're not going to tell you to go to your friends and family. If you start to get into that kind of thing, if you catch yourself saying that, you know, just stop, because it's not going to end well.
Yeah.
All right, we're at the bottom of the hour. So does anybody have any questions? Otherwise, I think this is pretty good information, and I hope that my voice recorded. We will see.
And one thing you should be confident about, we are selling something that everybody wants. We always lead with the money. We're not leading with digital products. That's a peripheral product, but your ads and everything are leading with, hey, you want to make 10,000 a month? You want to make 100 grand a year? Do you want to make money to put your, so we're leading with what people want, which is they want more money. Now, they will give you their why. I need more money because my kid's coming up to college and I've already used the college fund. He doesn't know it and I'm freaked out. Or it may just be that he wants they want a second vacation home. That's why you want to find their why. But initially they're there because they want to make more money. So we're already selling them what they want. We're going to just show them how they can make that money. So the how, you got to get them to the how. And that's step 2, of course, when you send them the webinar. And then like Steve said, if you send them directly there, you got to send a lot more people there because a lot of people that you don't find their why, they just go there from a direct email or something. They may never make it past the capture page. They may, oh, I got to put my name in. I'm not doing it. So you lose that guy. Then he puts his name in and he starts looking at the site and he finds out right away there's a fee. Oh, I'm not even going to watch the video. So you lose a lot of people. Whereas if you really raise their interest and they hang up the phone and go, man, I really like that guy, John. He was really listening to me and he sounds really successful. Now you don't have to go through as many people because some of those people will actually make it through because you've established rapport. So there's a plus and minus on each way. I like both ways,
Yep.
to be honest with
Yeah, good point. They both have their merits. Cool. All right. If we don't have any questions, I guess we'll wrap up. Make it a great week. And again, remember, this is a great time to be prospecting and signing up new business. So let's do it.
All right, take care, everybody.